The supply side of the housing market has slowed progress for the past 6 months, so today's report will examine and reveal what is happening to the inventory of homes for sale in Tallahassee. We have included 5 important graphs and provided an explanation of each, after which you should be fully informed about the supply of homes in the market. Hi, I'm Joe Manausa, author of The Business of Getting Business and creator of Manausa.com, where I have helped tens of thousands of people buy and sell homes. I would like to help you too. If you already are a subscriber, thank you and welcome back. If you're not a subscriber, please consider becoming one now. We offer the most thorough and accurate housing market reports on YouTube, plus answers to your real estate frequently asked questions, and we also provide virtual tours of some of the most beautiful homes in Tallahassee. Simply hit subscribe to get started and the bell so that you're the most informed buyer or seller in your next real estate transaction. This week's housing market report focuses on the supply side of the Tallahassee real estate market. We'll examine several different graphs that depict the current state of the inventory shortage in the housing market, starting with the year-over-year fresh listings and culminating with a look at how well the new homes market is faring in its attempt to satisfy the growing need for new homes. Our first graph in today's report shows year-over-year fresh listings. I use the term fresh to mean that these homes have not been recently listed for sale with current or another real estate company. Most realtor reports come from an MLS or multiple listing service, and all of these are fraught with problems. You see, the MLS systems are not designed for data measuring and tracking purposes. They're built solely to help realtors market their listings to other realtors and to consumers. Realtors learn tricks of the trade and often manipulate the information in a listing, like its initial asking price and earliest list date. Because of this, I must clean the listing data regularly so that we know what is truly going on in the market. You can be assured that the information in this report has been screened for accuracy and is a true representation of the housing market activity in Tallahassee. In this graph, each line measures the percentage change in fresh listings from the same month the prior year. A green line reports growth, while a red one reveals a decline. For example, we see a red line for the month of August, and it shows us that the number of freshly listed homes in August was 12% lower than what was reported in August of 2019. The COVID-19 pandemic is having a clear impact on existing home sellers entering the market. The past 5 months has seen fewer homes listed each month than in the same 5 months of 2019. We saw about 12% fewer fresh listings in August than were reported in August 2019, showing that a percentage of homeowners are still leery about listing their home during these trying times. I believe some of this might be related to job uncertainty, and some is related to the concern for safety from the virus. Regardless, the decline in fresh listings is keeping the market grossly undersupplied of homes for sale in Tallahassee. The next graph shows the seasonal nature of sellers entering the market, and we use this to forecast the likely listing activity in the following months. This graph uses the fresh listings reported from 2013 through 2019, 7 full years, to establish the listing behavior of existing homeowners in Tallahassee. Historically, the months of September through December yield the fewest fresh listings of all months of the year. Does this mean we should expect to see the same in 2020? Normally, I would answer with an unequivocal yes to that question. But here's why I have some doubts and think we might just see a different pattern this year. First of all, demand is scorching hot right now. We are seeing multiple offers on most of our listings, and that means there are plenty of buyers awaiting new homes. The properties that get listed and marketed correctly will get sold fast. Second, there's a growing pool of pent-up supply. This is that group of homeowners who have chosen not to enter the market due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now that the economy is recovering and people are getting back to work, many of these homeowners are going to want to move in order to take advantage of historically low mortgage interest rates. They will need to sell their homes for their move to their new homes. Third, I expect to see less travel and smaller gatherings during the holiday season. The holidays are typically the #1 cause for market slowdown at year's end. It's the answer we get from sellers about why they want to wait to list until the new year. This year, I believe they will have fewer reasons to wait. When you put all 3 of these factors together, I think there's a good chance that we'll see some year-over-year gains in the months to come. The market is too hot to ignore for people with homes to sell. In fact, our next graph will reveal just how hot it is for home sellers today. This graph measures what I call the home seller success rate. As simple as this graph appears to be, it actually takes many hours each month to produce. We have to remove a lot of duplicate information in the MLS in order to find out the percentage of sellers who are successful in selling their homes with their first real estate agent. Some of the listings of homes you see for sale are actually input as many as 20 different times in the MLS. The agent cancels an old version of the listing and then creates a new one with the hope they will fool buyers about how long the home has been on the market. I was able to ensure that we use the earliest listing date for all the homes we see in our report, with one glaring exception. Some sellers fail to sell their homes with an agent, so they list with a new one. Some even end up listing with as many as 5 or 6 agents before they sell their homes. Unfortunately, I just don't have the staff to help dig for the original listing date for every home in our report, so I'm stuck with using the original listing date with their current agent. The impact of this is that the MLS reports much quicker sales than actually occur. But we do get an accurate view of the home seller success rate because I compare the homes that sold with the homes that failed to sell. I really wish I had the data to show you what this graph looked like back in 2008 through 2012. At one point, I had measured the success rate to be just below 40%. Can you imagine? Back then, less than 4 out of every 10 home sellers got their home sold during their first 6-month listing period. That was a tough market for sellers. But times change and market conditions today are ripe for home sellers. This graph shows that 87% of home sellers right now are getting their home sold with the first agent hired. That's 7 out of 8 happy home sellers. To say that now is the time to sell is a gross understatement. Our final 2 graphs are going to clearly reveal the impact that concerned homeowners are having on the inventory of homes for sale in Tallahassee, as well as the impact that local builders are bringing. The big question is, can we build our way out of this housing shortage? This graph measures fresh existing homes entering the market from January through August of each year. This means that it does not include new construction homes, which will be examined in the final graph, and it does not include sellers who had been listed with a previous company. For those readers who understand how the MLS works, it also shows each listing on the date it was initially listed. So those agents who keep canceling or relisting their unsold properties do not negatively impact the accuracy of this report. Thus far in 2020, through August, there have been 3,148 fresh homes listed for sale in the Tallahassee MLS. That's 15% fewer than last year and the fewest of the past 20 years, though I only have the data shown for the past 7 years. Remember, this does not include new construction, just existing homeowners deciding for the first time to enter the market. This 15% decline measures 545 homes that the market desperately needs and represents pent-up supply that will eventually find its way to the market. Will they all hit in the spring, or will some enter in the final quarter of 2020? Time will tell. Either way, they will be consumed by the pent-up demand from buyers who cannot find homes right now. That is, unless the builders beat them to the buyers. So let's see how active Tallahassee home builders have been over the past 7 years. It appears as if the home builders in Tallahassee have heard our pleas as the construction of new units is growing. Our final graph shows the new construction homes listed for sale in the Tallahassee MLS from January through August of each year going back to 2014. It's nice to see that the construction of new homes is up 51% in 2020 versus what we saw a year ago. This is rather impressive, as I know that the builders and their subcontractors are dealing with the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. I can tell you from personal experience that there are some long delays on appliances. Several months ago, my refrigerator at home started making the telltale sounds that indicated it was on its last legs. I called Mays Monroe and got a new one ordered to replace it with, but it ended up taking more than 2 months to be delivered. Several builders have shared with me that they are dealing with back orders on appliances and cabinets, and we have to be prepared for delays if we continue to see factories shut down due to the spread of COVID-19. Now, remember, this graph shows listings, not sales, so I'm excited about the builders bringing the new inventory to the market, but only if they can make it to the closing table for buyers. I'll have to keep an eye out on new construction closings and then report back to you in future video reports on whether or not these new homes are making it to the closing table. The issue of backlog and construction delays are real and possible threats to further slow the housing market. This is why we need our existing home sellers to come forward and enter the market. Here's what to do if you have a home to sell. Start by gathering more information. Invest a few minutes discussing your needs and wants with a top listing specialist. In fact, you can book a 15-minute call with us right now. I've included the link to my calendar below this video. There are no strings attached, and the call is all about you, your needs and wants, and whether or not the conditions are optimal for you and your specific home right now. We'll listen to what you want to accomplish and let you know if it's possible in today's climate. After watching today's video housing market report, you should have a good understanding of the shortage in the supply side of the housing market. If you'd like to see the rest of the housing market, just watch the video on the top left. I've asked YouTube to suggest a video for you to watch, and you can see it in the box below it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you are informed about changing housing market conditions. I'll see you in our next report.